Hey everybody, it's Geraldine Rose here. Let's go see what the craft room has become the last couple of years. There we are. All right, I have to tuck into the corner because this records really close up and I can't get it to zoom out. So we've done a few updates so that it was easier for me to sit at the desk and reach everything. Well, a little bit of organization, of course, because that's our other hobby, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen, that we love to organize. And that is one of the portraits from my Mayor's Championship here. When I was showing her, we unfortunately have lost her now. She died just before New Year's this year. All right, well, let's start at the beginning. The reason why we did reorganizing is because I got more inks, as you can see, and more sprays, and all the re-inkers. But I wanted it so that I could sit at my desk with, of course, the big TV monitor here in front of me and be able to, if I needed the inks, that they're just right up here in front of me. I can reach them all. Or, you know, my alcohol markers are very close. My watercolors are up on top and I can just grab them. If I need the embossing glazes or the pastes or some of my Nouveau drops, they're there. And most of the die cuts, the nesting dies for obviously mostly waffle flower through here or in here. These are the ones that, of course, that we use the most, right? So just be able to reach right across. Scissors, reverse tweezers. Oh, I need my pick for getting a die cut out. So just all right here from one seat. This was the solution that we came up with for my cardstock. I don't like the flat stacking ones because I just don't have room on the desks. And we've started out with, these are pretty much the rainbow order ones through here, and then into craft, and then into the glitter cardstocks, into foils, rice papers. Those are pattern papers that are scrapbook size, and up on the top we've got cream, gray, black, and watercolor. Those are the inks that I've gotten that are kind of spares. Some re-inkers for Versamark, the Memento Black, things like that. These are my close to the heart from a long time ago. That company is now defunct. And I'm just trying to pull them out a bit so you can see that I've got them arranged. You know, through their colors, each of them. I find those ones really good for when I'm doing the sentiments on the inside of the cards because they give a very crisp image with the words. And I'm also able to stack them up, so to speak, that if I start out with a darker color and then go to a medium color over top of it and a lighter color on top, it will drive the ink out and cause a halo effect. That's the box that contains my Jennifer McGuire card that she sent me from one of the lives that she did. And that's our good luck unicorn. He has a belly that opens up and you can put things in it. Starry colors, gem colors, metallic watercolors, the dual tip pens, my watercolor 36 pan set, gold mica ink from Kuretake. I do like those 3 sets of the Kuretake that I have. They're really good. My alcohol markers. So the bottom portion here are Altenew, and the ones up above are Azteca and a few others. Starting from here, sorry, I just have to put the chair back forward again, are the blacks, whites, Versamarks up at the top, a couple of metallic golds, another watercolor set, my watercolor brushes in behind, and my watercolor brush markers, which you have to store upright because otherwise they leak, as I found out. So very pigmented. You don't want those things leaking. These are the Altenew fresh dye inks that I have so far, the circular ones. These are the latest style that they've come out with. Putting things through rainbow order, because that's what we have to do, right? Over here, my full set of Distress Oxides, which I also have the full set up on the top of the Distress Oxide Re-Inkers, and in the back are the Distress Ink Re-Inkers, and that again is another full set because I do love those Tim Holtz Ranger colors. That second shelf, that section is triple layers of the micas. That little section, I've got 6 of the Altenew shimmer sprays. Those 2 bins are 2 sets of the Distress Spritz sprays. You can see, if I grab this one, which is my favorite color, people, Twisted Citron. Over here, Distress Oxide sprays. Again, that's a triple layer. There are more colors behind. And on the end, we have the Picket Fence and then the Jet Black right here. Going down from there, my Stickles, my Nouveau Jewel Drops, and then into the pearls, into the Foundry Waxes, Glossy Accents, which I still use quite a bit. There's Distress Glaze in the back here. So that is what you use on the outside of your envelope if you want to send mail art out without it smearing, but don't put it where your postage stamp is so that they can cancel it properly. Crackle Accents, Mod Podge, which I keep up because as a mixed media artist, I still use it quite a bit. As you can see by my assortment of paste that I've got there between the Altenew embossing paste and the Tim Holtz Ranger Distress crackle and otherwise paste, texture paste. The Snowfall is really pretty. It's got a sparkle in it. The black opaque, wonderful for Halloween. And that glow one there, I will leave the craft room at the end of the night and I'll walk out after all the lights are off and I'm like, what is glowing over there? That's the glow in the dark one. This one right here. It is actually, it does glow green. It picks up enough light from the window right here that it does. My embossing glazes, I don't have the full set on those, but I have enough of a rainbow range that it makes me happy, right? The bins that I have beside the chair, scoreboard, as aforementioned, nesting dies that we use quite a bit, and then masking paper, waffle, sticky mats, grip mats through here, some watercolor paper, and then just some spare cardstock that are like cards that I wrecked and I would chop the back part off so that I can use it underneath a front panel instead of foam so that it goes through the mail better. Acrylic blocks. There are a couple of smaller ones in the front as well too for stamping the smaller images. And then each of the containers, which are what my alcohol markers came in, but they're perfect for putting in. That one is like my spare tools. So, you know, the X-Acto blades, a couple of pens, bone folder, and reverse tweezers, things that you use all the time. Scissors in there. And then that one is gel pens and shimmer pens, into the paint brushes, into the spatula tools, into the metallic pens. Back bin is other miscellaneous tools and spare glues. And this one, my glue runners, my red tape, my satin tape, masking tape, plus some glue dots there. I have to keep these separate, of course, the brushes, the blending brushes, because those are the oxide brushes in the back, and a couple of pigment ink ones. And here in the front are the ones that I use for just normal inks. So I use these for the Altenew and they're close to my heart, just normal inks. Those are the Altenew mini blending brushes. They are fabulous. And these are just ones that we got from Amazon. So those are just a standard blending brush. And these ones are the bigger ones that you can take out. Luckily, they are all color-coded. And when you want to do like a really light blend across the back panel. Plates for my mini blossom. which is sitting right there. And my sprayers, just my drippy drip one, and then a couple of mister type ones. Underneath, we have my heat gun just on a hook so that it is against a metal leg. I can hang it up to let it cool, and it is readily accessible for when I need it. Underneath, there are 2 part reams, because they don't just send a full ream out now on most paper. Can you imagine how much that Neenah Classic Crest Solar White would weigh on the 110 pound? Because those are each 125 pack. They're pretty heavy. So a full ream of 500 would be crazy. So I've got 2 quarter reams, so that's technically half a ream there. I've got black. I have got the accent, and I have got the hammer mill. And those last 2 I use for standard card fronts that I don't use a lot of wet stuff on, as well as using for the glimmer machine. That is my double-sided adhesive full size, as well as some spray glue. And that's not something you typically see in a craft room. That is my blood pressure machine. I have hypertension. We discovered that recently when I landed in the hospital with a cardiac crisis event. Let's just call it that. Anyway, I am retired now, so I have more time to mess around in the craft room. Underneath, I have got silicone mats down because that is my glimmer machine. And I always want to make certain that it, after it's cooled down, still does not have any possibility whatsoever of starting things on fire. Way in the back there are my wax stamps and my waxes. I keep them way underneath there so that they don't get the sunlight. That is my bin with my foils in it. So I like, where is my Aura one? That one is the prettiest. I love that one the best. I'll have to eventually get a new roll of that. There is my old cratey crate for when I used to go to the crops, which since COVID I have been too freaked out with anxiety to actually go to a crop. I've canceled out every single time. But in the meantime, it acts really well for old paper storage in there from the stuff that I couldn't fit on the wall. Inside there, we have the Big Mama and the alt new foam tape, as well as this is the ultra sticky tape, and I did get the set, so I've got the 1 inch, the 1/2 inch, and the 1/4 inch, and I am liking that. I can get things stuck down now, not have to worry about my cards curling as much because I'm an over adheser. And the glue, oh yeah, they would be super curled. Way in the back underneath there are some pouncers. Hey, I just got them from Amazon. They're makeup pouncers, and they work just great. And they were rainbow orders, so they were already color-coded for the inks that I was using. Bigger scoreboard, which I don't pull out as much anymore. Make art station for when we are doing stencils and the like. And this one, I have this readily accessible, my guillotine trimmer, because I am taking that in and out underneath it all the time. Paper towel and press and seal, and my old Fiskars cutter for the longer papers, and an envelope maker. Other side, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I'm actually wiggling my butt along the floor right now, ladies. I used an old box to make a splatter box. There is my Canson watercolor on the side. The other thing I did underneath the desk, I got this from Kathy Zilski. That's what she did, is she just put hooks, and she reaches underneath her desk, and she's got her microfiber towels there, as well as I have my silicone mat for heat embossing. Back of that chair are my die cutting plates, as well as my craft mats. The Big Shot, because it gets used so much, more so than the mini blossom. My Cuttlebug's in the closet. It doesn't get used much anymore. This, it just stays out on the desk. Second microphone, from when we were having sound issues with the computer, the brand new one, and we couldn't figure it out. There's the first one. And it turns out the thunderstorm blew the settings through the sound card, but then it also corrupted the movie editing program. All right, in the back, moisturizer, because of course we're washing our hands so much. And there is my good Canon, which works, but we have to mount it properly from the ceiling. It's got kind of a set focal range when you're videotaping, so that is what I'm still using the webcam. Down there as well, I got like those are stamps from Canada Post, of course lip balm, and you know, spare pens, the ghost emergency nail polish through there. Little guy underneath there, the sprocket. That was what I forgot. I've got that little sprocket mini camera for if we want to print a picture out quickly. Watercolor pencils from Tim Holtz, plus the one white one there, and a sharpener from Sadler. There is white sparkle and clear there, plus the salt cellar that I keep my chamois in, and rabbit tool. My Aught light, which is a gift from my lovely best friend Star. Star is the one that got me into crafting. Oh my gosh, 11, 12 years ago, 2013, 14. It seems so long now. The two stamp platforms basically that I use, the Misty and then the original stamp wheel. Mini garbage with my various types of erasers in there. To this point, I actually don't have a sand eraser. So I just am using a nail buffer for stuff like that. On the side, ready to reach for when I've done the cards, we've got my custom stamps hanging on the side. And those are my ink swatches on the normal inks. Those are not the Distress Oxides. The Distress Oxides, you can see that this is probably moving too fast for it to focus. I swatched on each of the little labels that I put on them, and you see how they got a dot? That showed me that I have the re-inker for them. So as I said, I've got the full set. So yeah, they've all got the little dot on them. This is why we put an extra thick carpet blanket down, because even with that there, it saved our carpet. That was mica spray that I was shaking up. And I am so glad that we did that as well. Then you don't get the marks in your carpet from the chair as well too. Okay, where shall we go next? No, we'll save that for last. Okay, so sparkle light, stained glass. This as well was another gift from my best friend Star. And yeah, I get lost all the time. They're great adventures. The second one was a joke. It was when I was still working as a retail store manager. And it was one of the signs we brought in, and people were like, oh yeah, that is so you need to get that. I have got the oversized bins. They're just refrigerator bins, and they've got a handle so that you can reach under and pull them out. As you can see, I've labeled them. So we have various food and animals, and that's backgrounds. It's mostly embossing folders, but some cling stamps. Let's see. Valentine's Day, Canada Day, and then Thanksgiving and autumn, and in the back is Halloween. And Christmas has its entire own bin through here. Now you can see I've got all the brands mixed because I like doing it by category rather than by brand. That being said, this first bin on this side, because Alt New is the best when it comes to flowers, this bin pretty much is all Alt New. So these ones are like mushrooms, and then garden stuff like lanterns, things like that through there, and then just other stamps and other press plates. Oh, and sorry, that's my Better Press hidden in there, and that in the corner is where I hide all my stencils in there, and so I can just pull it out just the same way that we can just slide the bins in and out so we can look to see what we want to get. The next one, sentiments and inspirational ones. So we're starting out with things like birthday, generic sub-sentiments, friendly ones, And in the back are for, you know, when you have to do those sad, sick or sympathy cards, which are not something we want to do, but we have that gift to be able to lift people's spirits. So let's do it, people. Word dies, you know, your typical, you know, hello, hugs, things like that. And alphabet and creativity, crafty in the back corners, envelope poppers. All I did was I took a piece of cream cardstock, I chopped it down, I used my corner rounder to round the corners, and then we just laminated it. And they work pretty tickety-boo. Some of the taller stamps, Altenews got these storage pockets, which are pretty heavy duty. The rest of them, I just get those little 50 or 100 packs in the bins here. Same idea. What I want, I can just slide out. The bottom stuff is stuff I don't use as much anymore. So these are when we were all still using stickers and things like that. But I do use this stuff. So these are my little containers, my triangle trays of bling, and the googly eyes are for Halloween. Yay! And ombre drops, sequins in through there, and just a whole bunch of enamel dots. These I use quite a bit. Lindy's Magicals, Nuvo Shimmers. The hand sanitizer is for when I am doing alcohol ink or using my jelly plate. These are some of the embossing powders I have that I've swatched the colors out on. Those in the back are the rest of them. So that's my Uti and my matte embossing powder. And then those are paper glitzes. And the one relief paste that I have, these ones are solar paste. I use those all the time, which is why they're at the front. Underneath, it's just paste, assorted mixed media through there. That one is paints and crayons. So it's like my fabric art. The distress paints, which I don't tend to use too much. Those are my distress crayons and my gelatos, which I have actually pulled out recently. We have props because I am in the Altenew Educator Program, and I am learning to take more professional photographs so that people on Instagram can like and follow me, or that we can have nice thumbnails on YouTube. But YouTube is the one I'm more interested in anyways. Hence the fact that I'm doing this crafting tour for you guys. All right, we have some ribbon and twine next. I don't use the ribbon as much anymore, but the twine I do use. And it was one of the best deals going. I got this package of it. It was like, I don't know, 12 or 16 colors. Excellent. Really good deal. That is some of the metallic thread that I got from Altenew. It as well is really good because it's quite fun when you want to add just a little. These are envelopes, and down at the bottom are card bases or cards I never finished. So these are cards that got, I don't want to say downgraded, but I just didn't have room for them on the shelves anymore. Now the envelopes, oh, I forgot to send one out. I'll have to take care of that after. Whoops. Bigger envelopes. I have a postage meter because I have to weigh to make certain mine below 30 grams. And you can see we just got them organized in rainbow order. So I'm going to tuck everything back in there. And let's see if I can put this up while still recording. Oh, you guys gotta love the thought there of that. Stationery, envelopes, paper, my thesaurus. You can see that I like my thesaurus. You wouldn't know it now. We tend to use less vocabulary words as we get older. This big bin, I have my laminator in there. I have my big jelly plate in there, plus some office supplies, and then some canvases down in the bottom. In the closet, old bins that just didn't look with the style of the room. Those are all duplicates that came in, or triplicates. I actually have some triplicates in there when I was ordering kits and they came in and it was like, oh, so now I've got an extra. So we've got some things in there that we are going to do for a giveaway for when we hit 1,000 subscribers, everyone. Down at the bottom, sewing machine, because I am mixed media, and yep, I do sew stuff onto cards. If you want to go have a listen, hear it squeal, you can go take a look at any of the videos that have got that. I am keeping my craft apron and my tote in there. That is part of what I used to film. It just gives me extra light. It was part of a light box, but I cut it down. This bin is full of the sleeves from when you get your stamps. And what I do is I put my cards inside that for when we are mailing out, because then you protect it against any wetness that potentially could get on it, or any damage when it's going through either the US or the Canadian Postal Service. Spare boxes. Oh, that's my lightsaber box in the corner. Okay, I am a Star Wars buff as well. This shelf, coffee maker, coffee station. I drink the decaf. The Life is Good. I do change the little cubes each day. That was a wonderful gift from the 4-H to learn to do by doing. I actually adore it. It's so kitschy, it's cute, but hey, you know, life is good at home or elsewhere. On this shelf, I put more the current projects that I'm working on. So you can see the two on the end. I'm not happy with them yet. I haven't finished them. These are ones from this last weekend. I still have to get photographs of these guys. You can see I never do the same card twice. This one's an interactive card. So you open it up and it's a little purse. You see? And it has nasturtiums on the inside. The flowers, just showing you. See how they got splatters on them? My hubby, wonderful, wonderful that he is. He got me splatter roses for my big 6-0 the other year. And let's see if you can see it. Hurley Pottery. Sean custom made me this mug. It's splatter with that capital L. And of course the rainbow, just because. We have got the shelves. These are ones that I've kept because typically they've won in card competitions. Those ones were given shouts out by Simon Says Stamp. These ones, there's sets there. I was invited a couple times to be guest designers. I'm gonna spin you around, watch out. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. I'm gonna back into the corner here so you can kind of get a better view. And it's pretty much an everyday person's craft room, I would think, other than the fact that we had to put 2 bigger lamps up because this window does not give me enough light in the wintertime. And in the summer, I have to close the shades because there's too much light in and there's glare on my glass mat. And that's the other reason why I put a silicone kitchen mat down over top of it. Well, thanks everybody for watching our special video number 100, the craft room tour. You all go out, be that change you want to see in the world, and we'll catch you next time. I've got a lot of videos as well coming up on deck. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.